You're a gambler, a degenerate like us.
How much you want to bet?
I will bet you $1.
Don't let people tell you who the underdog is,
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
even when you run out of money.
I declare bankruptcy!
We help you put your money where your mouth is.
Balake. Where is Balake at?
This is Make or Blake with our insider, Blake Rubin.
Welcome back to Make or Blake here, another episode on the Smitty and Middy Show, brought to you by KevsCards, the official stop for amateur trading cards. Kevin, I almost butchered that, but I got it through. Boys, welcome back to another week of Make or Blake. Non-successful weekend for me and Tyler with the UFC 257 fights. Blake, you did a little bit better than us, though, this past weekend. You went 2 for 3. Both Middy and myself 0 for 3. And that is how you come back after almost butchering an intro, boys.
You know, it was just it was a weekend, especially the UFC event, of tremendous upsets, but more Titans falling. So, you know what? I'll take it. If this is what gets me back on track, I'll gladly take it.
I found out that if you drink a bottle of whiskey with your buddy and just randomly place bets on fights, you can come out like $40-50 up pretty easily. And then you forget to place something on the McGregor fight before it starts, and it saves you a lot of money because you're going to put everything down on McGregor. So I found out whiskey helps me bet.
Was it proper 12?
No, but I do want to get one of those. I do want to get one of those bottles.
There you go. That's the reason why it didn't work out that night.
Yeah, that was it. That was for sure it.
Blake, you got a 2-week total now, 4 for 9. You're slowly working your way back into it. 3-week total, I should say. Middy, you're 3 for 9. Your Bills lost in the AFC Championship game, which kind of screwed over your bet from week 1. We'll talk a little bit about that. I'm 5 for 9. The Bills, Middy, they're done. They're done.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
He cried. He cried for a lot.
It was a rough day. I stopped watching in the third quarter, to be completely honest with you.
I had to turn it off as well.
It got really ugly in the fourth quarter.
Did they get a stop? Like, did they honestly get a stop?
I think they got a stop, but
I think they had one stop.
It got really physical in the fourth.
Man, it was just so frustrating. I think they had one stop on Patrick Mahomes that, like, after he threw a touchdown, he looked like the penguin kind of wobbling back over to the sideline. Like, he couldn't move. I don't get it. And oh my goodness. Like, Kansas City they were creating pressure with 4 guys, like ridiculous pressure. Like, every single snap, there was pressure on Allen with the 4 guys rushing. They didn't have to bring extra. I didn't get it. Whatever.
I think it's a young quarterback. His time's going to come.
Give him time. There's not a whole lot of sports going on this weekend, Blake. There really isn't. We got no NFL. Just college basketball really hasn't picked up a whole lot yet. What are we betting on this weekend?
So you're still able to find some things around the sports world, especially with hockey right now. The Leafs playing the Oilers this weekend, and I'm going to say Connor McDavid gets at least 1 goal that game. The Leafs are actually in a 3-way tie for the most goals by an Eastern team given up against McDavid. We all know how much of a talent he is, and now that they're in the same division, I just think that tally on McDavid against Toronto is just going to go up way more. The one that I tried to focus on is sort of how Russell Westbrook's relationship is going with the Washington Wizards, because ever since the James Harden trade, he's now been linked to the Nets, right? There's the possible reunion of him, Harden, Kevin Durant, and, you know, getting back that reunion from their young time in Oklahoma City way back in 2010, 2011. And a lot of people are saying that it won't happen. The odds of Westbrook actually getting traded there right now are plus 375. I think that'll slowly decrease to the other side as we get closer to the trade deadline, because Westbrook is a player who just wants to win. He doesn't care about the stats. He doesn't care about the records. He simply wants to win. He knows right now he's not going to get that in Washington. And we know about the problems too that Kyrie Irving has had with Brooklyn. So there's potential for another blockbuster trade right there. It's that hard an argument to make. I agree.
No,
I'm just like, where do you find that?
I was kind of waiting for your third bet, but I love when when people just come out with weird stats, like that they've given up the 3rd most against McDavid as an Eastern team or whatever the hell it is. Like, that's just such an obscure stat. I love that. But with the Nets, they are $50-something million over the cap right now into the luxury tax. I mean, I don't know enough about the NBA. I don't know if there is a second level tax bracket. but I would assume there is. I don't see the Nets sinking that much more money into a season where they're always already paying so much money over the cap. And Westbrook has been a cancer everywhere he goes. I mean, he can join the team of other cancers. I still feel really bad for Kevin Durant with what's had to happen there, but I just think the Nets are going to sit back and let their team do what they need to do now.
I still just wonder how Blake finds these bets sometimes. Just like pulls them out of his magic maker Blake hat.
It's just the power of research and really questioning what is going on in the world of sports, to be honest. One that I'm not too secure, though, in terms of betting is for soccer in the English Premier League. Just a quick one if you really have an itch to scratch for to make some money. Arsenal playing Manchester United. The over, I say, just at 1 goal. Keep it simple, folks. Man U tied for first in goals for Arsenal, one of the better defenses in the EPL. It's around plus 104 on the match. It's one of the more simpler bets to make. The real complicated one, I'd say, is to actually have confidence in that Westbrook deal now and going forward. But that's part of gambling, right? You got to show confidence where a lot of people aren't having it.
Man, the
first soccer bet on the show, by the way.
And you will not catch me watching soccer, and especially a match where it's a 1 goal over. 1 goal. All you have to do is 1 goal and you push. And the fact that you might have to watch the whole game hoping that they score 1 goal, man, I know it's the biggest sport in the world. I get that, but I'm not watching a game. A one over. Who made that book?
Blake's bookie.
I believe it was William Hill, who are pretty reliable.
Yeah, they're pretty reliable. I guess they're one of the top guys out there for sure.
All right, we'll move into mine here real quick. Well, I'll try and speed through this because again, not a whole lot going on. So let's focus on some golf here. Rory McIlroy to finish ahead of John Rahm. That is plus 105. I mean, you're going to give me plus money on Rory, who has succeeded at Torrey Pines in almost every event he's played there. I believe he's had multiple top 5 finishes. Just give me that money. Also, let's look at JB Holmes as a top 10 finish. I just liked it. I don't know who he is. I really don't. Plus 1,600. Let's put him there. Let's do it. You know what? It hasn't worked when I go back and I do all this research. So I'm just picking sports. So, and the last one, we're going to have to wait a long time to figure out if I'm right on this one. So we're going to have to keep this going for a while. Wow. The Padres to win the World Series at plus 700 right now.
That is like a year out.
Yeah, well.
That is a legit moonshot. But you know what? I like it. I really do, especially because I'm not a big golf person. Like often when I go to a drive range or something, the club goes further than the ball does. So with the Padres one, I understand because it's Slam Diego and everything now. But I really like what the Mets did this offseason. They're already one of the best fielding teams in the league. And just adding Francisco Lindor, I just think makes it so much better. And obviously they have so many studs at the plate to bat.
Yeah, I don't... You're betting on a World Series champion in January, whatever.
That's where you're going to get the best money. Obviously the lines are going to change the closer you get, and you're getting it right before, I think.
But you're just throwing your money away.
No, you're getting it before Bauer signs, and I think once Bauer signs, you're going to see the lines change a lot. So get it before Bauer signs. The starting rotation in San Diego is phenomenal, and that's without Clevenger projected to pitch this year. So I mean, the rotation's amazing. That lineup with Tatis and Machado, it's been deep ever since for years. And really, if it wasn't for an LA team last year, they probably would have won the World Series last year.
Who are betting favorites right now in the MLB?
The Dodgers.
Dodgers still are.
Which makes
Dodgers
sense.
and Yankees in the AL.
By how much? Like what's that sitting at right now?
They're all plus money, but they're always going to be. The Yankees were something like plus 100 or 150 something.
It's a pretty good bet. There's not a whole lot of sports on. I went with some golf as well for my 3 picks. Farmers Insurance Open. Our boy Corey Connors, who's been on the show, he will finish top 20. It's plus 250 right now. Look at him to finish in the top 20. Rory McIlroy, this one's a little bit of a long shot. Put money on him to win the entire fucking thing. Tyler, he's the one who just said it. He gave you those stats. What are you laughing about? He gave you the stats. He gave you the stats. McIlroy, put him on there to win the tournament outright. Plus 800. I'll take that money. Are you good?
Yeah, that's our first S-bomb. I love it.
Fans and listeners are going to have to come back in a year to figure out if the payouts of these will actually work.
My third pick is a parlay in the NHL Saturday Night Hockey. Oilers, Habs, and the Capitals. Take all those three teams in a parlay, win you some big money. Thank me later. Are you good over there?
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up, he says. Well, boys, that's been another week here of the Maker. Blake, thanks for joining us. Brought to you by KevsCards, of course. Middy's going to be laughing for another half hour, so we'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.